beautiful people. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What an incredible day it's going to be. I feel it in my spirit. I feel it, I feel it, I feel it. How about you? How about you? Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I want you to do me a favor. Share this. This morning I'm talking about the crippling effect of excuses, identifying your why behind the excuses. I'm going to go in this morning. I'm going to help some people this morning. And I want to help as many people as possible. So you would do me a great favor. You'd be doing me a great favor if you would just go ahead and share this. Share it with somebody. Somebody needs to know. Somebody needs to know. I believe that we are on course to shifting some things. I believe we're on course to shifting some things. See, the Bible teaches us that the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. But I believe that with an understanding, as children of God, with an understanding, we have the potential to overcome that which have destroyed others in the past. Yeah. We have, you have, I have the potential to overcome that which have destroyed others in the past. Now, what I've learned, Miss Cynthia, is that, as we close out a year, there are a lot of people who have great anticipation for the new year. There are a lot of people during this time of the year, as we go into Thanksgiving, as we move towards Christmas, people start reflecting. They start reflecting. And if they have any intent on being a fruit producer, if they have any intent on being a difference maker, those individuals will start to plan. Those individuals will start looking at what is it that I want to do with not only the remaining part of this year, but what is it that I want to do going into next year. This is a great time for you to stop and pray. This is a great time for you to pull back and really assess where you are and where you're trying to go. And where you are trying to go. So the goal here is to identify what's been holding me back. What's been holding me back? And I found, as a life management coach, I found that what has been holding a lot of people back is excuses. Yeah, you heard me correctly. Excuses. I wrote in my book, Effective Living, a chapter called The Crippling Effect of Excuses. How dangerous excuses are in that of your journey to maximize your potential. If you want to be all that you were created to be, you're going to have to address the excuses you have been making. Now, I've heard people say things like, I don't have what it takes. And it's simply an excuse. I don't think I can. That's not me. I don't deserve it. People say things like that. I don't deserve it. Or I guess it's not the right time, or things would align for me. I've heard people say that. I've heard people say things like it must not be meant for me. Or I'm not strong enough. I'm not smart enough. I didn't come from the right family. I didn't grow up on the right side of town. I didn't go to the right school. I didn't get the right degree. Or at this age, that's a big one. At this age, which age? I remember someone telling me, Miss Cynthia, I remember someone telling me, and they were in their late 20s, and they said, well, when I turn closer to 40, people will listen to me. Then I've seen people who are closer to 60 and say, well, because I'm at this age, I don't think anybody will give me a chance. In other words, you could make excuses your entire life. Your entire adult life could be built around excuses. But somebody needs to declare the devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. If God has greater things in you to do in the earth, you need to get to the point where you say, no more excuses for me. Come on. No more excuses for me. I've got to learn how to start to live my best life. I've got to learn how to raise the bar. I have to learn how to take advantage of every new day, because a new day, ladies and gentlemen, a new day is an opportunity to begin again. Yesterday, I may not have done so well. Last week, I may have not done so well. Last month, I may have not done so well. At this point, this year, I may have not done so well. But let me be assured of this thing, that starting today, I'm going to put my best foot forward. No more excuses for me. Who could say that with me? No more excuses for me. Get up out of that bed. Okay, shake that weary spirit off and remind yourself, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. Listen, man, the gift and the potential and the core values that are within you that the world needs only will come forth when you get rid of your excuses. So this morning, I want to give attention to this whole subject, identifying your why behind the excuse. Identifying your why. See, purpose is the why. Why do I make so many excuses? Why do I make so many excuses? May the Lord deliver me from the excuses I've been making. Can somebody write that down? May the Lord deliver me from the excuses I've been making. May somebody declare that right now. Because here's the deal. It is the excuses that you make that stops you from maximizing your potential. Sonia, it's the excuses that you make. Carol, it's the excuses that you make that stops you from maximizing your potential. Miss Sonia, a lady told me a couple of days ago, she said, Coach, I like listening to you, but you convict me too much, so I stopped listening to you. Did you hear that just now? Did you hear that? Sonia, did you hear that? The lady, she said, I like listening to you, but you convict me too much, so I stopped listening to you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will never be who we were created to be if we don't get past our excuses. Okay? You've got to get to the point where you identify your why behind the excuse. And let me tell you something, whatever that why is, once you start to address that why, you remove that. Because yesterday we talked about fear. Okay? We talk about it because here's the deal. Here's the deal. If you don't address the why, it will repeatedly show back up. It will repeatedly show back up. And before you know it, you're beating yourself up. Before you know it, see, some people, their excuses sucks the energy out of them. The excuses that they use takes the creativity out of them. They don't even see themselves having a chance because their excuses are so strong. Okay? So here's the deal. Excuses often mask deeper issues of fear, doubt, and misaligned priorities. Write that down. Fear, doubt, and misaligned priorities. So if you haven't realized, the bigger portion of your excuse may be coming from fear. It may be coming from doubt. Playing with the whole idea, I don't believe in me and I'm afraid to try. I don't believe in me and I'm afraid to try. Let me tell you something. That is real, Angela. That is real. There are some people who you don't think, but listen, you don't think they got doubt, but they doubt themselves every step of the way, and it's what's keeping them back. There are some people, fear would have them to not raise their hands. So you get to the point where you start to realize, is it fear or is it doubt? Or is it misaligned priorities? Breaking free begins with understanding the root cause. You got to know why. I am tired. I am broke. I am sick. Listen, man, I have been taken advantage. Why am I still where I am? You got to get to the why behind your excuses. Here's the deal. I know so many people where they working, they should own. Let me say that again. I know so much people where they working, they should own, but they have not tapped into the greater one within them to accept the fact that the level of fear to launch out, the level of doubt in their abilities, the level of misaligned priority. They think having a nice car is where it's at when they should be owning the whole department. When they should be, come on, man, I'm talking to somebody this morning. Listen, guys, when you don't discover your purpose, when you don't maximize your potential, when you don't commit to living beyond excuses, you keep playing small. So what's for you will never be yours because you aren't stepping out of this misaligned priority. You're not stepping out of the doubt that you have been allowing to keep you from stepping out. You're not allowing yourself because of fear. And the three of these can be hidden. They can be reserved in the background of our lives, and very few people realize, hey, he has the potential, but he'll never be it. She has the potential, but she'll never be it because of the high level of fear, because of the high level of doubt, because of the high level of misaligned priority. Well, let's go into a couple of things that I think you have to work through if you're going to get beyond these excuses. Number one, understand your common triggers. Number one, understand your triggers. Stephanie, good morning. Sonia, good morning. Good morning, Carol. Good morning, Karen. Good morning. Angela, listen, thank you guys for joining me. This has been an incredible week already. Yesterday was lit. So many people reached out to me and thanked me for the session. Somebody told me, they said, man, I enjoy listening to you, coach, but you walk all over my toe. So you know what? I don't listen to you as much because it's just, it pushes the button in me that disturb what I haven't done. Rather than leaning in, this person runs away. When help is available to you, you don't run from help, you run towards help. So thank you for those of you who keep sticking with your boy. I just want to help you. This isn't for me. This is for you. I mean, it's for me too because I'm working through it. But at the same time, I believe that we learn best by teaching. Okay? So understand common triggers. Fear of failure, low confidence, unclear goals often lead to excuses. So fear of failure could be a trigger. Boy, what people will think about me if I start the business and fail? What will people think about me if I buy the house and it foreclose? What will people think about me if I start that school and it doesn't work out? Listen, man, you got to figure out what are your triggers. Understand common triggers. That's why I love meditation, Angela. That's why, Miss Jocelyn, I like my quiet time. Because of late, I've been studying me. Glory be to God. Hello. I've been studying me. See, when we think about studying to show ourselves approved, we always think about trying to study just to explain to others. But there's a study that gives you a rest in your soul and a working in your spirit. I was talking to someone a few months back, Angela, and they looked at me and they said, well, you know you're going to lose. And Angela, because I understood who I was in Christ, I looked at them and I said, I'm not going to lose. I'm not going to lose. I felt like David looking at Saul and saying, the God who was with me in times past is the God who is going to be with me when I take this situation out. I am not going to lose. I'm here today to tell you, you've got to address the why behind the excuses you have been making. Excuses will keep you back from maximizing your potential. So understand your common triggers. What is your triggers? What's keeping you back? Is it fear of failure? Is it low confidence? Low confidence, cuz I see my cousin showing up here this morning. Thank you, Sonny, for being here. Low confidence, low self-esteem, not believing in myself has kept me back more than almost anything else. Low confidence, low self-esteem has been a major player. So now people see me showing up and speaking a lot more confident and acceptance of myself and the message God has given me to bring to humanity. And it's not that I have it all together, it's that I'm figuring out some things and it's working. Glory be to God. I am not teaching a message that I think is interesting that I've learned in a book and I'm just talking. I am working this thing. I'm working it and it's manifesting in my life and it's coming out to be something beautiful. Glory be to God. How many of y'all know the word will work if you work the word? Hello. The word will work if you work the word. So understand common triggers. Number 2, write this down. Practice self-awareness. Practice self-awareness. I just told you, low self-esteem had me at the trough. Okay, lack of confidence had me under. Well, Ricardo, you've never had confidence issue. You've never had confidence. You don't know me. You don't know what I was struggling. Some people be faking it, and all inside of them, every bit of them, have them just in massive doubt. And let me tell you something. When you're not confident on how you show up in the world, it affects the end result. Okay, you've got to address doubt. You have to address fear. You have to address low self-esteem. You have to address this lack of confidence, because when you don't understand your core functioning factors, it's going to affect the end result. So you have self-awareness. I know there are some things I'm not good at. There's some things I have not learned. There are some things I just don't do. So here's the deal. There are many people in the world who have mastery in areas where I have deficiency. At this beautiful age of 49, I have now come to accept I'm not good at everything, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay saying I'm not good at that. I'm okay in saying that's not me. But I'm also okay learning. I'm also okay trying to become, so I don't stay limited using that's not me as an excuse. So I am a growing leader. I am a student of life. So along the way, I am willing to learn, but I'm also aware that, listen, man, I am not going to lead a choir. No. I'm not the singer. Now, I may pull off a Kirk Franklin move and do a little dance or something and just, come on, all my people. But I ain't the leader, man. I ain't the leader. You know what? The truth is, I lead a choir. Praise God. Come on. You got to get creative, though, right? Kirk has gotten creative. Hats off to him. I salute that brother. So watch it. Practice self-awareness. You got to know where your strengths are. You got to know where your weaknesses are. Okay? Learn to recognize moments you justified inactions. Okay? Learn to identify moments you justify inactions. In other words, you know you've been talking yourself out of it, not because you can't, it's because you're not trying. Come on, you're not trying. So practice self-awareness. That's why you have to get away from everybody, okay? And start looking at what makes up Jocelyn, what makes up Angela, what makes up Cynthia, and ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? And then when you start looking at yourself, then start cleaning up the whole idea of it. Is that truly me, or is that who I've accepted myself to be? That's where I am. That's where I am. That's where I've been, ladies and gentlemen. That's where I've been. That's why you saw the beard at one point. That's the reason why you saw this. That's the reason why you saw it. I was trying to find myself. Now I can look in the mirror and I like myself. Samuel, I like myself because I have chosen to pull back and allow myself to become aware of who I am. When you become aware of who you are, you're able to speak like Jesus and have confidence in, I am this. I am that. I am this. I am that. I am this. Somebody told me the other day, I don't like how you do this. And I said, that's fine. Everybody don't like sushi, but sushi restaurants are thriving around the world. You know, well, Miller, I don't like how you do that. That's okay. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Angela, you've heard me say that before, because that's a necessary acceptance. When you learn to like you, you start to learn to accept everybody don't have to be for you. Let me say it again. When you learn to like you, you learn to accept you, that everybody don't have to like you. You don't have to be everybody's cup of tea. So practice self-awareness. The question is, do you like you enough to address fear? Do you like you enough to address the low confidence side of you? Where's that low confidence coming from? Where's that low self-esteem coming from? Why do you have to try to prove something to anybody? Come on, man. Why do you have to prove you have to prove to God that you have been a good steward over that which he has placed within you. Somebody ought to shout amen. Miller, you're teaching this morning. Number 3, guys, break the habit. Break the habit. This morning, we're talking about identifying your why behind the excuses. The excuses that you have been making has been keeping you back. The excuses you've been making has been causing you to play small. The excuses that you've been making has kept you sick, has kept you living paycheck to paycheck. The excuses that you've been making has caused you to lose your body and caused you to literally affect relationships. Oh, my goodness. You have to break the habit that you have attached to yourself that's keeping you back. How many of y'all know it's possible for you to talk yourself out of a promotion? It's possible for you to talk yourself out of an opportunity. So you have to go to the very core. What's going on with me? They teach very little. Society, schools, parents, various institutions teach very little about self-discovery. And when you find out about you, then you need to also acquire the skill on how to break the habit that's causing you. Okay? So now you've identified, boy, I just make a lot of excuses, eh? Wow, I make a lot of excuses, eh? And well, you don't understand what school they got me at. You don't understand what they put me in the worst office. You don't understand. You see where I'm from. The color of my skin has been affecting me all my life. You don't understand. If I had the degree, I know a brother. This brother is sharper than everybody in the room. But this brother, nobody knows that he's in the room because this brother, low self-esteem is so low, they wouldn't even give him a chance to talk in the room. Unfortunate. So I'm saying here, you have to break the habit. So I said to the brother, you need to raise your hand. She said, well, no, they don't let me talk in the meeting. Jesus Christ, you 40 years old. What you mean they don't let you talk in the meeting? If something is going the wrong way and you know better and you ain't saying nothing, well, you know, that's just not me, Miller. I don't talk up like that. That's just not me. Okay, I can't coach you. I can't help you. We're going to need to pray and fast and ask God to divinely show somebody to help you. I can't help everybody. And I realize that I'm not called to help everybody. But for those who would have me to help them, I say, raise your hands, man. Every meeting, raise your hands until you get some attention because you have something to offer. You're in the room to offer something. Hello. Listen, man, how many of y'all believe right now? If you've been invited in the room, learn how to show up in the room and give value when your chance is when the opportunity presents itself. If you've been invited in the room, please note there's a reason why you're in the room. So if you've been invited to the field to go take your brother's lunch and somebody asks, boy, listen, we need somebody to fix this problem, raise your hands. Somebody said, well, you're not skilled. Raise your hands, glory be to God. Raise your hands, understanding God has actually helped you to kill lions, tigers, and bears. Now they got a problem and everybody looking around. They're all men with swords and all men with shield and all of them quiet. They got a problem. And you showed up. You were in the room. I told the brother, raise your hands. He said, man, I can't raise my hands. See? But very few people are teaching us how to deal with this low self-esteem factor. Now, here's the deal. This is the same brother. He's ordained. This brother got a license in ministry. This is the same brother who preaching and teaching, telling people, I can do all things through Christ. This is the same brother who says, listen, man, greater is he that's in me. This is the same brother who says, I can do all things through Christ. Come on, bro. But you in a room that you don't even acknowledged. What's up with that? Anyhow, that's a whole nother subject. Watch this. Let's do it. Number 4. Reflect deeply. I want that brother to reflect deeply. I hope he's watching this. Reflect deeply, meaning what's going on with me? Why have I been in the room and haven't been acknowledged in 4 years? What's going on with me? Why is it that I have multiple degrees and I'm broke? Reflect deeply. Identify reoccurring excuses and then the emotions that drives them. What's the emotion that's driving your reoccurring excuses? You're talented and broke. Why? Why do you go to a job you hate? Why? Why is it that you have so much to offer but have no level of commitment to bring to the world what you have? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Is it low self-esteem? Is it the thing that only you know? You got to go there. Watch this. Reflect deeply. I went in reflecting deeply. I remember when I started thinking it's because of my big head. I remember when I thought it was because of my accent. I remember when I started thinking because of the way I talk. I thought, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's that. And it was all the enemy playing in me. These thoughts and these ideas that kept weakening me. And then I grabbed the whole of the word, because see, the word of God will work if you work the word of God. And so the Bible tells us when you lean into the book and you read the book and you start looking at what people say around you, you start separating yourself from what they say and start aligning yourself with what he says. And here's what the Bible tells me: casting down every vain imagination and every thought that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. So I stopped saying what they say and I started saying what he says. And I said to myself, you know what? I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So now the question is, what am I going to do today? What am I going to do this week? What am I going to do with the rest of this year? What am I going to do with the new year? And I wrote it down and I started to fight the good fight of faith. And I remind myself, faith without works is dead. You could talk it all you want, but until you roll up your sleeve and put some work in it, you ain't going to see manifestation. So reflect deeply. Last one, ladies and gentlemen, last one, number 4, take action. Take action. Faith without works is dead. When we talk about identifying your why behind the excuses, when you look at what's the issue, you've got to take action. Some of your issues, you're going to have to go see a therapist. Some of your issues, you're going to have to fast and pray. Some of your issues, you're going to need some accountability, brothers and sisters. Some of your issues are so ingrained and so deep within that you don't even realize you should have been so much further, but you're not where you should be because of excuses. So in this next season of your life, you have to evaluate, where have I been making excuses that's been hurting my potential? Where have I been making excuses that's hurting my potential? I pray to God that you will discover the greatness within. Unfortunately, most of us, and I've been working on this with me, most of us are establishing how we show up in the world from a comparison standpoint. As I close this out, Angela, check this out. The goal is not to compare. The goal is to complete. Let me say that again. The goal is not to compare. The goal is to complete. Complete what, Miller? Complete your purpose. You want to say when it's all done, it is finished. It is finished. See, you're in a race all by yourself. You're in a lane all by yourself. The goal is not to compare. The goal is to complete. So you want to finish everything you should have finished in your lifetime. So when someone says to you, oh man, you're doing better than anyone in the family, you're doing better than anyone in the neighborhood. Listen, man, you are not in competition with the neighborhood. You're not in competition with the family. You are in competition with yourself. You are trying to become the greater one that's within you. That means you may be going where no one else has gone before. Somebody ought to share this just because of that statement. You may be going where no one else has gone before. You may be a game changer. You may be the difference maker that your country needed. You may be the one the world needs. Somebody ought to see themselves capable of doing what has never been done before. Glory be to God. Can God trust you? Can God inspire you with vision and an idea to birth something that no one has seen? Or are you going to allow the excuse, well, you know that's never been done before? Well, David, nobody has ever taken out a giant, a man of war, with a sling and a stone. But somebody ought to declare, God has anointed me for such a time as this. And that which they say can't be done will be done if God releases me to do it. Anyhow, I'm out. God bless you guys. See you back here tomorrow. We're going into this. Tomorrow we'll talk about replacing excuses. How do we do that? So today we focus on identifying your why behind the excuses. Tomorrow we're going to talk about how do we replace them. God bless you. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.